Well, Turkey's latest defense deal is making waves and raising eyebrows in Israel. Ankara is moving forward with a plan to buy 40 Eurofighter Typhoon jets from Germany. Now, these aren't just stealth aircraft like Israel's F-35s, but they're still highly capable, modern warplanes. Their arrival could seriously shift the regional air power equation. In fact, one Israeli official called it a headache, but not an immediate threat. But it's a clear sign that Turkey is ramping up its military strength in ways that could eventually challenge Israel's long-standing edge. And that frustration is not just in the defense circles. It's boiling over in politics too. Opposition leader Yair Lapid tore into the Netanyahu government this week, saying it dropped the ball entirely. In his words, and I'm quoting here, "If Israel had a functioning foreign ministry or a normal government, perhaps it would have already intervened diplomatically to prevent this arms deal from advancing," unquote. So what is the big deal about the Eurofighter Typhoon? Manufactured jointly by the UK, Germany, Italy and Spain, this 4.5 generation multi-role aircraft is designed for air superiority, deep strike missions and tactical flexibility. Capable of flying at Mach 2, it is equipped with advanced AESA radar IR tracking systems. The Typhoon is no ordinary jet. This multi-role jet is super maneuverable with serious firepower, laced with long-range missiles, precision bombs and an onboard 27 mm cannon. It can perhaps switch between air-to-air combat and ground attack missions in a flash. Additionally, Turkey is also pursuing additional deals for US-made F-16s and potentially even F-35s. Remember, it was removed from the F-35 program in 2019 due to its purchase of Russian S-400 air defense systems. For Turkey, the inclusion of these jets into its arsenal means greater reach, more flexibility and a stronger deployment in a region where Israel has the air superiority. Imagine a world where instead of armies and drones, wars will now be fought by cockroaches, robots and AI. You might think it's science fiction, but in reality, such days may not be all that far off. The reason we say this tonight is because countries across the world are reimagining their modes of warfare in the face of a more complex and gritty challenges. Among them is Germany, which has come out with a plan to overhaul its defense. According to reports, a co-founder of Europe's valuable defense startup, Helsing, attested to the fact that investment in defense is looking up. Just last month, the Munich-based company more than doubled its valuation to $12 billion in a fundraising round. Not just that. Sven Wisnegger, who heads the Cyber Innovation Hub, also stressed on the role of cyborg cockroaches equipped with tools which could be deployed for real-time data collection through spy cameras. Now, what lies at the heart of this transformation in Europe's defense innovation? Experts point at the Russia-Ukraine war, which has changed ways of approaching the issue of security as a whole. Another factor could be a staggering rise in Europe's defense spending for the first time in decades. Many of EU member states have collectively increased their defense budgets, rising from $256 billion in 2021 to $383 billion in 2024, with a further increase of at least $117 billion by 2027. And behind it could be the vision harbored by the German government, with Chancellor Friedrich Merz reportedly pushing for AI and startup technology to perhaps take more and more command on ground and work in tandem with the country's military. But that is about Europe. look at the other side of the world will tell you that the sentiment of integrating non-human tech-driven warfare in battlefields is being echoed elsewhere too. Most prominently in China, a country heavily invested in developing AI for military applications and intelligent warfare. Just last month, China announced plans to stage a major military parade in September to mark 80 years since the end of World War II. However, there's a catch here. Besides human parades, of course, at the Beijing's Tiananmen Square, also on display might be new types of combat forces, including unmanned ground vehicles and robotic systems, ushering in the next generation of advanced warfare. And from the looks of it, this is just the beginning. So, if the world ever witnesses robots fighting robots or cyborg bugs taking over battalions, you knew it already. Columbia University has announced a deal with the Trump administration. The university says that it will now pay $20 million to the U.S. government. This after the Trump administration threatened to pull federal funding over what Trump said was its unwillingness to protect Jewish students at the Columbia University. $200 million settlement will be paid over 3 years to the federal government. The university will also pay $21 million to settle investigations brought by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Donald Trump has perhaps appreciated Columbia University for agreeing to do what is perhaps right. In a social media post, Trump also warned many other higher education colleges, accusing them of being unfair and unjust, indicating that similar actions could be forthcoming against them. The Trump administration pulled the funding because of what it described as the university's failure to squelch anti-Semitism on campus during the Israel-Gaza war that began in October 2023. Columbia first agreed to a series of demands laid out by the Republican administration, including, number one, overhauling the university's student disciplinary procedure and adopting a new definition of what it means to be anti-Semitic. Acting University President Claire Shipman called this deal an important step forward after a period of sustained federal scrutiny and also institutional uncertainty. In exchange for Columbia's concessions, the White House will reinstate $400 million in federal funding to Columbia that it had stripped from the university earlier this year. That's over allegations that it had allowed anti-Semitism to fester on campus. The deal is the first between a university and Trump administration that has described higher education institutions as the enemy and launched an unprecedented campaign to reshape them. Columbia University settlement includes, number one, a provision requiring prospective global students to answer questions about their intentions for studying in the U.S. and also establish procedures to ensure all students uphold a commitment to civil discourse. Apart from this, the college has also agreed to share information with the government upon request regarding any disciplinary action such as expulsions or suspensions against students holding visas. The university has announced that it will suspend, expel or revoke degrees from more than 70 students involved in a pro-Palestinian demonstration inside its main library in May, as well as from participants in an encampment last year. India's air dominance dream is veering dangerously off course. With MiG-21s phasing out and no replacements ready, the Indian Air Force is inching towards a numerical parity with Pakistan and nowhere close to China. It's a dangerous situation which experts have been warning for years. Our next report telling you more.
India is flying blind into a crisis. The strength of fighter jets is not comfortable to brave rough weathers. The Indian Air Force, once Asia's fiercest aerial force, is quietly losing altitude. The legendary MiG-21 fighter jets are set to retire in September. India will be left with just 29 active fighter squadrons, far below the sanctioned strength of 42. That's not just a dip. That's a dive into dangerous territory. Pakistan has around 25 squadrons, China having 66.
Your question, I suppose, pertains to adequacy of numbers for facing two-front war. The answer is no, plain and simple no, because all of us know for many years now that the bare minimum squadron strength required of fighter squadrons to for the Air Force is 42 squadrons. Actually speaking, 42 is just the number, but 42 of the correct quality as per the demands of the time is what is necessary. So when we talk in terms of number of squadrons, it is just not pure numbers. It is also the quality of aeroplanes that you have to fight the present day war.
The fighter gap has been decades in the making, with the IAF's world-renowned combat reputation now weighed down by lackluster procurement and policy inertia. The much-anticipated MMRCA deal for 114 multi-role combat aircraft, originally meant to fill the void, is still gathering dust. India has bought 36 Rafale from France for its Air Force. Indian Navy will also have 26 Rafale fighter aircraft, but they fail to fill the huge gap in the Indian Air Force's requirement. India has been pushing indigenous weapon systems and Tejas is soaring high. Tejas Mark 1A jets with better avionics. Radar systems are soon to be inducted, but delays have pushed multiple deadlines. The delays are not entirely due to bureaucratic hurdles, but also because of evolving technology. Right now, this strategic miscalculation threatens India across multiple dimensions. Pakistan's Air Force, once clearly outmatched, now approaches numerical parity with modern F-16s and JF-17 Thunder aircraft. China's overwhelming aerial superiority of 66 squadrons creates an insurmountable challenge along the northern borders. The window for recovery narrows with each passing month. Without immediate action, accelerated procurement, successful indigenous programs, India risks losing the aerial advantage that has underpinned its regional security for generations. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Are you a man or a woman? If you're thinking why I'm asking this rather bizarre question, let me tell you, this could very well land a person challenging this in a legal suit, especially when none other than France's First Lady now faces this very same question, thanks to a podcast, which made her gender a national talking point in France. So here's what happened. French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife, Brigitte Macron, are suing a far-right American podcaster, Candace Owens, for spreading what they call, and I quote here, outlandish, defamatory and far-fetched fictions against the French First Lady. In a lawsuit filed on July 23rd in America's Delaware Superior Court, the Macrons accused Owens of falsely claiming Brigitte to be in fact a man in a bid to promote her platform and make money. It's the first time a sitting president of a country has taken on an influencer legally. Not just that. Owens also claims that Macron was selected to be France's president as a part of a CIA-operated program. Now, this is a rare defamation lawsuit in ways more than one. One which reportedly came after Owens was served with several opportunities to retract her claims and statements. The lawsuit comprised a 218-page-long complaint. On her part, Owens has perhaps accused Macrons of using their power and privilege, and I'm quoting here, to bully her. But it may not be all that simple for the Macrons, who might face major legal hurdles, as public figures must show defendants engaged in actual malice for a defamation case to prevail. Just for context here, the unverified claims regarding Brigitte gender were first made public in 2021, in the run-up to the 2022 French presidential elections. Since then, several far-right conspiracy theorists have purportedly taken to social media to spread such rumors about the French First Lady. This has also brought renewed focus on the question, number one, how far can one actually go to expand one's fame and fan base? And be in the spotlight for that matter, even if it means violating someone's dignity.